And we are live. This is our third Founders Pack winner takes all pitch event. I have 3 esteemed judges with me today. Backstage, we have at least 4 pitch companies. We're supposed to have 5. We'll see if the 5th one shows up, but sometimes that has how things go. We are live right now on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and on YouTube, but not that anyone would know on YouTube because it's like an ocean of content. Today, I'm going to go right from the top to the bottom of this, which is nothing personal. It is just how I see you guys. So first off, our first judge that we have is Brian from Bay Angels. How are you doing, Brian?
Good to be here. Thanks. Fun. It's gonna be fun. Founders Pack. Heard a lot about you guys, so I feel like I've arrived. I feel like.
All right. So for people that don't know, just give us a brief introduction. Who's Brian, and what are you working on?
All right. So my name is Brian Sparks. I'm head of communications for Bay Angels. We're also a network of angels in the Bay Area. We've been around for about 25 years. But what I love to do, what I do for a day job, is I'm an executive communication coach. I help startups as well as executives develop their message portfolio. We train startups to do their pitches, but however, it's following that pitch that they really have to develop a presence. So I train them with my team. We're HVA, Heroic Voice Academy. You can find me on LinkedIn at Brian Sparks. That's Sparkes. Love to connect with you.
Amazing. And I will make sure not to mistake you for Brian Sparkles, which is what I keep thinking in my head.
I'll go with that. I answer to it.
Brian Sparkles. All right. So we're going to, next up, our other judges, we've got Will Sachs from Fulcrum. How are you doing, Will?
Yeah, doing good to be here.
So I guess maybe give a brief introduction. Who is Will Sachs and what is Fulcrum?
Yeah, so I'm a Nashville-based entrepreneur and now accelerator founder. So Fulcrum Venture Accelerator, accelerator for mission-driven entrepreneurs. We're focused around helping seed and pre-seed stage founders close investor money. So I spend most of my time looking at pitches or helping founders with their pitches. And we've now, over the years, helped founders raise about $4 and got our sights set on $1 over the next 5 years. So we're just getting.
Oh, amazing. All right. And last but not least, returning from the mighty, mighty north is Shane Feldberg from Feld Ventures. How you doing, Shane?
Good. How you doing?
Excellent. So maybe just give a brief introduction of who is Shane and what is Feld Ventures.
Yeah, happy to. I helped build a fintech unicorn here in Toronto, then built out an angel syndicate. We have around 1,000 LPs, and then one of the LPs hit me up one day after one of our deals was doing really well and said, hey, I'd love to anchor your fund. So started building out that fund. Should run out to be around a $15 million fund one. Fintech oriented, but we can still service category agnostic and stage agnostic deals through the syndicate. So pretty active, writing checks into all sectors, and I'm excited to be here. Appreciate it, Mike.
Awesome. I'm glad you're here, and you did an amazing job at our last pitch event, so we're excited to have you back. All right, we will start off. We're going to have the first pitch of the day. We're going to pull up Tim Wolters, if I can find Tim here. Tim, my friend, how are you?
How you doing, Michael?
And then I think Tim's got a deck here. So maybe what I'm going to do, let's see if this works. And then I'm going to add, no, it doesn't work the way I wanted. So we're going to put you back. And I'm just going to remove myself and I'm going to read myself and then the judges, and then you can kick it off, okay?
Sounds good. Can everybody hear me?
Can hear you.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for having me on. I'm Tim Wolters, the CEO of CrowdSolve. I started CrowdSolve 2 years ago to solve the biggest problem facing us today, and that's climate change. So McKinsey estimates that $275 trillion will be spent over the next 20 years to combat climate change. We think a lot of that money is going to be spent on innovation. And innovation is not very efficient. Only 1% of climate startups are accepted into accelerators. That leaves over 100,000 companies each year that are not supported as well as they need to be. Our solution to CrowdSolve, we have a platform that increases the climate innovators' chance of success by providing curriculum, community, and connections. Our differentiator lies in the top half of this funnel. So our automated platform helps all these innovators kind of get in, go at their own pace, and then we're able to detect which ones are making good progress, and we can further accelerate them by getting them into boot camps. That allows us to then filter them down into incubators and VCs that are our partners. And there's tons of money to be made out here because of all of that money that's going into climate change. We estimate $100 million ARR in the self-serve side, $100 million in the boot camp, because we're also taking equity, and then we have some reporting products as well. We have over 30 partner organizations today, some of the best and brightest in universities and accelerators, and we have an amazing team. I've started 3 prior startup companies and exited all 3 of them, both as CEO and as CTO. I have a great partner in Leah Bose, who has been in customer success her entire career and has helped take PaySimple public. We have a great team in every corner of the business and product, customer success, marketing, partnerships, finance, and innovation. And we've made huge progress. Just over a year ago, we launched our MVP. Today, we have over 30 referral partners, 100 active innovators, 20 mentors, and we've raised over $350,000 in pre-seed. We're looking for another $150,000 that we're closing out in the next 4 weeks through a crowdfunding campaign. We'll be raising a $3 million seed round thereabouts in the middle of this year, and we're looking for some partners. So if you like CrowdSolve, let's solve together. Come talk to me.
Amazing. Great job. I'm going to add Will and Shane back into this, and let me just see if I can remove your deck. All right, so let's start off. Why don't we start off with Will? Do you have any questions for Tim?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Can you talk me through the business model at the top of the funnel there? You said 100 million in self-serve, I think you said, and then 100 million in boot camp. So what are those products and how do people pay for them?
Yeah, it's so our math is that there's, like I said, about 100,000 innovators that are getting turned down by these incubators and accelerators. So that's our natural funnel. We charge them about $1,000 a year to be on the platform. There's a new 100,000 coming in every year. There's so many companies out there that are trying to start something around climate tech because it has to be solved. In the boot camps, it's $1,000 a boot camp. We have 4 different stages of boot camps that we're doing. We estimate about 100 of these per year with about 100 innovators per, and then we take somewhere in the 2% equity of each of these companies that we end up accelerating in these boot camps. So there's a sort of a back of the envelope on how many of those will reach some liquidity event and then provide additional revenue into the organization.
And so have you validated this yet? Like have people paid for this model yet?
Yes, we have some. We have early paying customers in the model. We have one sponsor that has sponsored people in as well. And then we're just starting to convert some of these entrepreneurs. We turned on Stripe in our revenue model about a month ago. So we're just having people starting to hit that now. And we've done a lot of research out of it as well, and have found that there's a demand for the boot camp too. So
how many people have paid $1,000?
Nobody has paid $1,000 because we haven't had a boot camp yet. We have just a few monthly innovators that are hitting somewhere between $10 and $50 per month. And some of that's sponsored by one of our sponsors. So
great.
Great questions. Thank you. Shane, do you have any questions for Tim?
Yeah, would love to hear a success story. Someone who's used one of your self-serve programs and the success that they had from it.
Yeah, we have so many interesting stories, and one of the great things about getting into climate tech and doing this business is just learning all of these different companies and connecting with all these innovators. But Simon Julian, who came out of CU Boulder, he was a junior engineering student, had an idea about how he could use AI to understand how much energy was being output by a solar panel, and then hooking the solar panels together can basically predict how much energy that the solar array will produce over the next 15-minute sets of periods. ended up coming into us. We gave them a grant through another granting organization, went through CrowdSolve, then got another grant beyond that, ended up getting into the Techstars Energy Accelerator in Alabama, and today has a pilot with Excel Energy. So just an amazing story. But I've got, if you have all day, I have numerous of those stories.
Congrats. That's really exciting, man. And you were able to, you were the one who bridged the connection between them and Techstars and Excel and all those great groups.
Yeah, I mean, they're partners of ours, so we have a pretty close partnership with the Energy Accelerator in Techstars. And not all of Techstars accelerators have to do with climate, but that one specifically does. Helped get them in just as a reference to them, and then talk to the program. And it's definitely not all us. It's Simon Julian, and he's amazing. But we helped keep the wheels on and get them prepared to get into that incubator.
Cool. Yeah, congrats. Yeah, don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Shane. All right, Brian, batting cleanup on this one. Do you have any questions for Tim?
Yeah, one quick one. Tim, great presentation. You packed in a lot in a short period of time. That's tough to do. I know that takes some working out. The one thing I want clarification on is I get you're tackling the climate issue. I get that you have a platform, but what problem are you solving for the user?
Yeah, it's a great question, Brian. The biggest problem is if you're a first and even second time entrepreneur, the things that you need to stitch together to get progress and momentum on your idea. You get different advice from every different person you talk to, and you can go on to Startup University out of Y Combinator and kind of figure some stuff out. But you need help to kind of keep the wheels on. You don't need it if you're somebody like me who's gone through multiple. I took my last company through Techstars, et cetera. But if it's your first rodeo, you really need help on helping figure out. And that's why so many companies are applying into the accelerators, et cetera. So that's our big thing, is we help them get the wheels on, help them keep the wheels on, and then help them prepare to get into those incubators, kind of a pre-incubator, if you will. And then secret sauce is mining that information, because we have so much data on these companies coming through, what their progress looks like and what the mentors have said about them, et cetera, similar to like an angel list or something. And so we can cherry pick out of there and say, wow, these are the companies that are really starting to gain some momentum. And then we can really super accelerate them down into these boot camps, and we can be sort of the scout, the farm team for these incubators and accelerators.
Okay. Thank you.
Amazing. All right. Great job, Tim. I will remove you from the studio and send you backstage. And great questions, judges. We appreciate that. So we got word that Sonia is apparently in Ethiopia and stuck at the airport. So we will be down to 4 companies. So that's a win for everybody else. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to move on to Sven. Hopefully Sven is not perturbed about being up next.
Not at all.
Okay,
Thank you.
And what I'm going to do, Sven, is just to make more room so you're featured, I'm going to remove the judges one by one, and then I'll add them back in. There's Brian, and then whenever you are ready, I will remove myself.
Just before I do, if Tim's still listening, Tim, I'd love to talk to you about partnerships, since we're a partnership platform and you were talking about it. So I'd like to connect with you afterwards.
Sounds good. All right, I'm going to remove myself, and then that'll basically be the word for you to go.
Okay, hi everyone. Thanks very much for having me on. I did create this slide before the events of last week, so apologies that it's a little dramatic, but the world is changing. The world is changing in a way that if we go back to the very beginning of Google AdWords and pay-per-click, and the whole thing looked like magic, well, I'm sorry to say, but the party is over. We've had, in a form of death by 1,000 paper cuts, we've had a situation where the ROI on pay-per-click advertising, the costs have been going up, the ROI has been going down overall, and sorry, these slides aren't changing. There we go. And quite simply, paid ads are not like magic. So what we're talking about here is tailwinds. So we're going to start with the tailwinds for Intribe. We've got across the board just about every platform with pay-per-click. The costs have been going up. And the reason for that is a number of things. One is we've got the increased use of ad blockers across the board. Third-party tracking cookies have been blocked in a range of browsers over time. So every year that goes by since the advent of pay-per-click advertising, we've had more and more tracking blocked. And then, really Apple kicked off a lot of this with the advent of iOS 14 and really doubled down into it with iOS 15. Next year, towards the end of next year, Google is going to block third-party tracking cookies on Chrome. And brands, if they're not ready for it, are going to be forced to diversify marketing spend to survive anyway. So really, partnership marketing is the solution, and this is the solution that we offered. Large corporates have been going to market with strategic partnerships, with strategic marketing partnerships across the board. They have an army of partnership marketing managers to do this. SMEs and startups don't have the networks, don't have the resources, and this is what Intribe brings to the table. So we're replacing hundreds of people with a simple platform. We're going to make it easy, we're going to make it manageable, and we're going to automate the hell out of it, all the boring bits. Who am I? To finish with, I've been involved with startups since 1998. Early team, early executive advisory board, and angel investor. I've been involved with hypergrowth startups, have led teams into the Inc. 500 twice, the second time at number 7. And then the whole partnership thing, I've worked with Red Bull, Monster Energy, Ducati, Burton, and many others. Thank you,
Sven. All right, we went not too much over, so that was pretty good. We have brought back our judges. I'm just going to remove your deck. Okay, so why don't we start with Shane? Do you have any questions for Sven?
Yes, circle back with me. I wrote notes here and I'm formulating them as we speak. Yeah.
Collating. All right, Brian, do you have any questions for Sven?
Yeah, quick one. I'm not going to ask a question about traction at this point, but I would be really curious. What's your go-to-market strategy? I want to know specifics about your beachhead.
Okay, primarily the go-to-market strategy is through partnerships. So, at the very simple end, we're partnering with a whole range of other SaaS companies. So Social Bee for social media management. We're running joint webinars with their, one webinar at the moment generates about 300 new emails, 12 signups, half of which are paid and half of which are free. So we're a freemium platform. And the content marketing, event partnerships, the full range of marketing partnerships and strategic partnerships we're activating today.
Well, with that strategy now, who specifically are you targeting? Who is your ideal customer?
The ideal customer is the M in the SME. So a mid-sized business, they have a marketing team, but it's a smaller marketing team. So we're talking maybe 2 to 5 people. They don't have a dedicated partnerships manager. That's what the ideal customer looks like.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sven. Appreciate it.
Excellent.
Welcome.
Yeah, what you're doing is actually really, really interesting. I have a few questions that I wrote out here. Obviously, won't get to all of them, but maybe would love to connect offline as well. But like, are you specializing in any particular niches? I'm on your website and it says everything from companies to social enterprise to nonprofits. I know, like, typically for early stage companies, it's really hard to like, if you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one.
No one, absolutely.
Yeah. So like,
so
do you have I'd love to hear about that.
So the idea was originally built when I was working for a GoPro competitor, and so the whole early focus of this is consumer products, active lifestyles, the whole California action sports industry. I actually have an advisor who's actually now the former head of partnerships at GoPro or was at GoPro. So that's where we're targeting, and that is, I guess, where the fun kind of partnerships are. Out of California, we've got Blenders Eyewear on the deck, on the platform. We have flow hose, if you were around watching 70s surfing movies, et cetera, et cetera. We have a niche that is onboarding themselves, and we may lean into it. I'm still trying to figure out how that is happening, but basically SaaS companies have started signing up fairly quickly with no marketing attention whatsoever. And that seems to that may come from the fact that I'm active on Twitter, talking to other SaaS founders, and there's a bit of a bleed, but that requires research. But the original target market, consumer companies and purpose-driven organizations.
Cool. I might have a potential partnership with you on the consumer side, so would love to chat with you about
fantastic.
that. Yeah,
Yes,
congrats.
please.
I won't hog that
Thank
mic,
you.
so congrats, yeah.
Oh, that's great. That is more important than anything. I think we have to finish up with Will. Will, do you have any questions for Sven?
Yeah, thanks, Sven. My one question is, what is your average? What's the lifetime customer value? Like, how much do they pay, and what's the margin on what you're doing? We're also like a service component.
So it's pure SaaS. We are experimenting with services. We're very early stage. So we're raising a pre-seed round, 500K on safe. We only have early validation. So we've got about 280 brands on the platform, of which 40 are paid. Most of them are on a promotional deal. It starts at $29 a month. And scales up in the short term with the automation that we're adding up to $179 a month. There will be some done for you services. It depends possibly how dark this downturn gets. But overall, the plan is to experiment with services and then actually roll them out using AI.
Got it. And what do they get for that 29 to 179? Like,
okay, initially,
yeah, go for it.
So it can be very simple, like an old school dating app. So you can think LinkedIn, but instead of searching through all stuff that's recruitment based and all the things that are LinkedIn based, you can search by content partnerships, event partnerships, the brands that are looking for all these other types of partnerships. So you can do it manually. You can search by target customer. So a swimwear brand targeting professional women, or a high-end swim brand targeting eco-aware professional women that's based in Singapore could look for a list of brands in California but target professional women aged 20 to 45 that lead active lifestyles that are eco-conscious, and then all those brands will pop up. So they can go old school and match that way, like a dating app. Then think Netflix recommendation engine. This is phase one where we're going brand A, meet brand B. You guys should connect. The next stage is brand A, meet brand B. Here's the type of partnership campaigns that works for your types of companies. And then the next phase after that is here's the campaign, and you'll be able to hit a button, build the campaign. And that's where the AI comes in, checks out, your social reach, checks out the size of your email list, says basically, ding, 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 here are the problems that you need to solve with partnership marketing, and here's a campaign that'll do it for you. Do you accept?
Yeah, very cool. Love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Thanks very much, guys. And I'd definitely love to connect afterwards and talk partnerships.
And we will definitely connect everyone after. Thank you. I'm going to remove Sven. Great job again, judges. Very tough questions, but nobody's cracked so far, so that's good. All right, so let's see. Next up, we have Zach. So let's pull up Zach, and I think Zach also has a deck. There you go. How are you doing, Zach?
I'm
filter
good.
off.
Do you guys hear me?
Yes, you're good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove the judges.
Great.
We will bring
Mike,
them back.
how do I go through the next slides?
Are you not able to advance the slide?
Oh,
Yep.
I am good to go. Perfect.
Okay, so if there's nothing else, what I'll do is I will remove myself, and that will be your cue to roll.
Hey everyone, I'm Zach, CEO of Filter Off. Filter Off, it's a video speed dating app. I started Filter Off because I was sick and tired of going on bad first dates using dating apps. And I started asking my dates beforehand if they'd be open to video chatting. And it made a huge difference. I was able to get a sense of our chemistry and whether we were attracted to one another. And I knew online dating had to change, and hence why I started this dating app. How Filter Off works is every day you're given 15 daily picks based off your preferences. When you're a match, we set you up on a chat with your matchmaker to coordinate a video chat. When you jump on that video chat, you have a timed video date. And at the end of the date, if you both like one another, you could then set up a time to meet up in person. As you may or may not know, online dating is a very large industry, and most dating apps have a specific niche. Tinder, for example, is casual, Bumble's female empowerment, and Filter Off fills the niche of video. Half of singles now like to video chat before meeting up in person. So there is a huge need. Filter Off to date has over 160,000 users, with the majority coming from New York City. Our growth strategy works. Typical in the industry is about $12 an install. With our proprietary method, we've driven that down to 1/4 of the price at $3. We've also been covered in all the major publications and hit #1 on Product Time. Our model is a la carte as well as subscription. In 2021, we raised from Anheuser-Busch's venture arm, and we were also backed by angels from Tinder, Airbnb, and Google. And our goal over the next 2 years is to be a top 3 dating app in New York and expand to 100 new markets. And the team consists of myself as well as my co-founder, Brian, who's a second-time founder who previously started a unicorn called Density. Thank you.
Right on time, too. Okay, let me bring the judges back on here. Brian, Will, and Shane. Great pitch. I'm just going to remove your deck. Okay, so I think let's start with Brian this time. Or actually, we kind of accidentally start with Brian. Why don't we start with Will? Will, do you have any questions for Zach?
Yeah, thanks, Zach. I love it. I love the concept. I'm in the middle of this. I'm dating right now, so it hits home for me. Talk to me about the name, because when you put it up, I thought it was going to be something different. So that surprised me.
Yeah. So Filter Off is really about showing your authentic self. The filter is off. Typically with swipe apps, it's very easy to hide behind the profile. It's very superficial. With AI, especially like ChatGPT, it'll even make it harder and more superficial, as people will be able to generate really witty pickup lines. With Filter Off, it's a video first experience, so you really get to see your true self.
Cool. Yeah, I love it under a different name. That's my honest feedback. I feel like
I appreciate that.
I feel like you could really crush it, because I feel like video is the future. And so do you have people paying yet in NYC? Or are you still in growth mode there?
Yeah, so we rolled out subscriptions about 2 weeks ago. We have about 170 trials right now on our subscriptions. From last year, we brought in about $45,000 through a la carte purchases.
Great. Yeah. Okay. Those are my questions.
You'll have to invite Will to New York, Zach.
Yeah.
Although you might find something interesting in Nashville, so I don't know. It's kind of, you can be your beachhead. Brian, do you have any questions for Zach?
Yeah, I agree with Will. There's something in the marketing play here in terms of catching the catfish or something. I want to know a little bit more about your differentiator. There's the video feature on other dating apps. How are you really kind of standing out from all the options now? I hear what you said, but do a deeper dive on how you're trying to capture the market's attention, that this is the way to go.
Yeah, so in terms of the differentiation, yes, you're correct. Every dating app has added video. It really is a supplement to the user experience. You're swiping on other dating apps. You're not thinking about video chatting. Less than 1% of users actually video chat on other dating apps. With Filter Off, it's actually the part of the user experience. When you both like one another, we set you up on a chat with a matchmaker to coordinate your video chat. And you only have 5 days to do so, or the match will expire. So that's really the biggest differentiator, is that video experience, video first experience.
I have a lot of questions about how you're hiring all these love coaches to do this.
AI.
It's AI. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Good. Thank you.
So it's not a real person that's basically giving advice back. It's a chat based, or is it another AI based?
Yeah, so we basically take your profiles and our matchmaker introduces you based off your fun facts and your bio, really to kick off the video chat experience. So you almost have like a third person, like a coach in the room with different nudges. Because our biggest KPI is we want you to go on a video chat.
Got it. All right. Excellent questions. Shane, do you have any questions for Zach?
That was a great pitch. Super tailored and very clear problem and solution. Apps like this have been watered down, at least in the dating space, via a swiping model. And I feel like the cold start problem is the toughest thing to solve. You get people to use this, it's game over. I agree, but this is a business that benefits from network effects, and I think it's so hard to scale it. I get that you're starting in New York. That's also a really competitive market. Like traction, how are you getting people to use it? I know like the Tinder guys were going to college campuses and you had to show the app to get into parties. Like what kind of growth hacks are you doing to get people on board? And I think I've seen you on Clubhouse before, so I know you're super active and are doing whatever you can. And I think I'm actually a big fan of what you're building, but just keen to hear how you plan on scaling this.
Yeah, so during the pandemic, a lot of our scale came from search engine optimization and leveraging third-party platforms, as well as press. That's really actually unlocked our cold start problem. We don't have that issue. We still have users who go on lots of video dates on and off our platform from our inception. Our retention is double that of Tinder's. It's 40% after 30 days. New York is our largest market, but we're in markets all around the world where users also video date because they just want human connection. It's not necessarily in New York, it's very localized. But then in other markets, we have people who just want to video date romantically. They're sick and tired of swipe apps to have that video first experience in different countries as well. Does that answer your question?
Kind of. I just want to so you're the primary, I guess CAC engine for you has been press, it sounds like.
So it's been press, third-party platforms. We also work with hundreds of creators. We focus on a very scalable approach. We started with in-person, which is not scalable whatsoever, just to unlock that flywheel. But now it's been kind of just growing on its own for very cheap CAC. We've been now, for outside of New York, getting installs for less than $1 with retention on par of our New York users.
Wow. And what type of daily active users do you guys boast?
Yeah, so just to give you perspective, our monthly active user rate is right around 30,000 a month.
Gotcha. Sounds really cool. I think I think you're onto something. Well, last question. What's to stop a Tinder or a Bumble from seeing your traction and building something like this within their platform?
Yeah, that's a great question. Tinder did over $1.6 billion in revenue. They're not going to change their actual user experience away from the swipe. That's way too risky. What you see in these dating conglomerates is either A, they'll just snatch up a new niche, or someone beats them. This industry is due for a facelift. And corporations, as you've seen in the last year or so, sometimes are flat-footed. And we're pretty confident that we're going to be the #1 dating app when it comes to video.
Yeah, good for you for tackling this. I agree. It needs a facelift, and it's definitely a daunting task. But I think you're up for the challenge. I'm excited for you. Really cool.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zach. And eventually you'll have to move to probably El Segundo. I think that's where all the dating apps are headquartered out of, aren't they? I'm pretty sure it is. They're all owned by the same company. You're the only what's the name
Match Group. There's
Match
conglomerates. Yeah, Smart Networks, Bumble Badoo.
They'll get you eventually. All right, terrific job. I'm going to remove Zach from the pitch room. We had a message. I'm just going to tell Noah. Noah, just check Twitter. There was one person that was asking if they were pitching today that I didn't recognize. So maybe we have a surprise pitch company. You never know. We might, just in light of Sonia pulling out. All right, so we're going to go on to the final pitch, which is Paula. How are you doing, Paula?
Great. How are you guys?
Terrific. I'm going to put your presentation up, and then I'm just going to remove the judges.
That bunny gets me every time I see him.
Boy,
Just a quick, okay, I see how to move my slides. Okay.
are you good?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to remove myself, and that will be your cue to go.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Paula. I am the founder of Pawztopia, and this is our petaverse. So I don't know how many of you guys know, but the pet industry is a $269 billion a year industry. Last year, in the fourth quarter alone, it generated about $25 billion, and that's everything from wearables, dog walking services, hotels, anything that you can picture for your pet is a very, very big industry with a lot of outside of the industry players coming in. What we are creating is a comprehensive concierge site for the entire pet industry. We are the only one. There is nothing else like this out there. I know I've been in the pet industry as a dog groomer for over 12 years, and I am a pet owner. My dog turns 14 this year. She's getting a big quinceañera in May where she turns 15. So what am I really answering here? Right now, there's a bunch of different ways that you can go and find resources like dog walkers, pet sitters, veterinary services, all kinds of things in different apps and different websites and stuff. Nobody has yet to put all of these wheels in one car. And what does that mean exactly? All of the resources that you need are going to be available in one place. We are subscription-based, scalable, very easy to use. We are going to connect everybody with all their pet resources from social connections. Just like Zach, we are going to be creating a dating app as well later on in the future, which is going to help owners meet other owners through their pets in various social settings like dog parks and stuff. We're going to be creating veterinary services available. I know that Fulcrum also invests in a company called My Pets Vet Group, which is also going to be a company that we're going to be using as our resources. So it's everything under one roof. Right now, a lot of the issues that we're seeing is that, again, everything is available in multiple platforms, multiple places. You go on Facebook, you want to find a dog wiener meetup. You got to filter through all of the likes and things that you already have. That isn't going to necessarily get you to one place. You can Google a dog beach. You can Google a pet-friendly restaurant. You can go on Yelp and go sort through all of that stuff, but it doesn't really give you everything that you need in one place. So we are very similar to what Expedia was like in 1996. A lot of people were happy going to the airport to buy their tickets, the hotels, calling the hotels and whatever. We are that in 1996. We're putting everything under one place, which is, again, it doesn't exist. In the future, we're going to expand to other markets. We're going to be developing wearables, real estate, social commerce, vaccines, hospitality, the whole thing. It's going to be covered under one roof. So we are fundraising up to $2 million. We don't have any debt. We are going to just be using this to get the model up, to get the app running. And then after the subscriptions start generating revenue, we are pretty much done. So right now, again, the industry is expanding with other players getting involved, and with millennials being the largest group of app users. Ultimately, we are 6th in the market above airlines. So we are poised to kind of take over the entire world, Pawztopia.
Oh boy, that's a big statement.
It's a doable statement. So
awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to add back in Will and Shane. Shane looks like he's off camera at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to remove your deck. There we go. All right, Shane looks like he's on a very important call. Maybe, oh, he's back. Okay. Why don't we start with Brian this time? Brian, do you have any questions for Paula?
Okay, Paula, great presentation. You're clearly going after the heartstrings of pet lovers. So huge market, very competitive market. Drill down into the problem you're solving.
The problem is being solved. It's actually solving a lot of problems, and that's what we're tackling. So right now, we're solving the problem of lost and missing pets by being able to create a profile for you and your pet. I don't know how many of you guys have pets. A lot of people don't realize that chip registrations expire after the first year. It's kind of like a car registration. So in our profile, you can put in your pet's information, and that way, the chip registry, the vets, anybody who finds your pet will be able to look up your serial number, because a lot of people don't realize that they lose the registration after a year. So shelters are going to be using this. The big result is it's going to result in less pets being taken to the shelters. But on a social level, it's going to give everybody the ability to find all of the resources in one place, instead of you having to go to Facebook for this information, to Yelp for this information, to Bring Fido, which is a hospitality resource app. There's another one called Paw Boost for missing pets. There's another one that you can go to Eventbrite to find events for people, because a lot of people don't realize that they can integrate their pets into the into your social fabric, which is why a lot of pets got given up after the pandemic. Now I got to go back to work, so now I have to give up my pet. Where people don't realize that maybe around the corner from you, there's a Mutts and Martinis or a Yappy Hour or a Pups and Pints. So this is a way to get everybody to have really, really positive relationships with their pets. Using existing platforms, we're just putting everything under one place.
Okay, just one follow-up question. I mean, Amazon sells everything. You're a pet concierge, but they started with books. What are you starting on? What is your focus?
My focus is the basic subscription, which is the 4 modules, which are going to be profile creation, events, near me, and a lost and found. So that way it gives everybody the ability to create this social universe for their pets. So it's going to happen in one immediate space, and each one is complementary to the other. So it's kind of like a latte. You can't have a latte without the cream or the sugar. It all works in one space. So
Thank you,
I like coffee and dogs.
Good comment.
Perfect. All right, why don't we go to Will? Will, do you have any questions for Paula? Oh, I think you're on mute, Will. There we go. Oh, you're still on mute. Hold on one sec. I'm going to take you off mute. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Will,
Yes.
you're back.
Yeah, this is phrase of trying to boil the ocean. And I think it's great that you've got this huge vision for creating an Amazon or whatever it is in the pet space that takes over the whole thing. But I do agree that you're going to need to focus and be the best at one thing to start off with. And it sounds like that's kind of like a neighborhood community app for pet owners. Did I get that right?
It will. It will be nationwide. My launching platform is going to be Fort Lauderdale. Since I live here in Fort Lauderdale, I know Fort Lauderdale the best. I work in Fort Lauderdale. I've been here for over 20 years. So we are going to launch with those 4 modules. Those 4 modules being, from what I've seen in the pet industry and as a pet owner, things that everybody needs right now. So we are going to be the best at those 4 things, because again, the difference between me and other people that have tried to start up other companies in the pet space is they are not from the pet space. So we know what it takes to make it work, as far as like the simplicity of creating your profile and including your vaccination documents, for example. Just your vet, you don't realize that you have to show these in a lot of other places. So the simplicity of putting your vet documents on your profile along with your serial number is just that on its own has legs. Just the being able to find a Pups and Pints has legs. Just being able to, find a veterinary service near me has legs. So all of these things already exist. We're just putting them in one platform. And that's going to be the launching platform that we're going to create, so that users really can use this on a daily basis, if not weekly basis. So
cool. So yeah, I love the idea of getting started in Fort Lauderdale and validating this, building like an early version of the product, and just getting 1,000 people using it a day. And then I think that it's going to be way clearer for investors on the path forward. Because right now it seems like it's like, wow, that's a lot.
I feel the need sometimes to make sure that it's going to be a huge business, because sometimes the smaller vision doesn't really kind of encapsulate what it's going to become. It's going to be a petaverse. So I am creating the petaverse for everybody. And right now it's just not out there. So, and there's other companies that are starting to get a little bit hip to it. We are seeing other dating apps for pet owners. Off Leashed is one of them. They just launched in Seattle last year. We saw another one called Fetch a Date. So all of these things are things that exist. We just want to put everything in one place, so that, if you want to find all of these encapsulating things, we want to put them in one spot. So, and like I said, other companies are starting to kind of integrate more things for each person, but we just want to do it. We want to do it first. We want to do it right.
Cool.
Do you
Those
have
are my questions. Yeah, Shane.
Yeah. Sorry, Will, I didn't cut you off. I mean, cut you off. You good?
No. Really interesting business. How are you guys acquiring users right now? And
So-
how are you monetizing? Is it a freemium model?
It is not. So we have 3 subscription levels. Our basic subscription is going to be a micro subscription. It's going to be $1.99, free after 30 days for everybody. I want everyone of every income level to be able to have this. Nobody bats an eye at $1.99. We are going to have a premium, which is going to include the basic subscription, the dating app, and the real estate app, which we are going to launch later on. And the real estate app is something that, people give up their pets because they move into places they don't realize have pet restrictions. We want to eliminate that, again, creating the space for less pets in the shelter. It really is like a humanitarian effort. And that's going to be the premium package. And then for $29.99 for the year, every business that has pets on premises, whether you're a veterinary, a doggy daycare, anything, a restaurant that's pet friendly, excuse me, is going to pay for the subscription for the whole year. It's going to allow them to have a jobs marketplace, advertising, specials, things, discounts, anything that you could do for the jobs marketplace for professionals. So there are 3-tier subscription levels that we are offering. So
Super.
Cool.
thank you.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Thank you, Paula. All right. We have a surprise. So we lost one pitch company and we got
Last minute challenger.
We do have a last minute challenger. I have to say kudos no matter what. Tony, are you still there? Oh no, we lost him on his mobile. That's not good. Oh man, I think he fell off. What happened here? Hopefully he wasn't intimidated by the petaverse. I don't know. Let's see if he comes back on here. We'll give him a second. Oh, he is back. All right, let's see if this works out here. And then Tony, I'm going to try to pull up your presentation on my computer since I think there he is. Tony, so actually this is light okay. Tony. I don't know, dark Tony, or is there a super Tony or?
Just Tony.
Just Tony. Okay, Tony. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up your slide on my computer since I know we're having some problems with that. So Tony's coming in here. We're going to find out if Tony's a ringer real fast. So Tony, you basically have between 1 and 2 minutes is typically the pitch. And then you'll get a question from each of the judges. At the end of that, the judges are going to pick the top 2 startups to get additional questions. Do you have any questions for us?
Right now.
Are you good? I'm going to pull up your
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the judges. Give me 1 second. So there goes Shane, there goes Will. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove myself, and then that'll be your cue to go. Are you good to start?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, good evening, everyone. The name is Anthony Jude. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of Pugatons. Pugatons, it's a decentralized application that is rewarding users for their time that they spent streaming music online on platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and every other platforms they use for streaming music. Currently, we have a lot of competition in the space. Music fans are not being rewarded, and the lack of monetization in the music industry is so rampant that most people prefer to download their music locally, most especially in the African part of the world. People like to download their music instead of streaming them online due to the fact that most times they can't afford the fees for streaming. So the solution we're bringing right now is we are building an application that we draw people attention to streaming platforms and reward them for their time that they spend to listen to their favorite music. So currently we have a solution that we're bringing to the space, and our company purpose is to see that we reward users all over the world while they stream their music locally or internationally, and also try to see how we can blend in with the cryptocurrency space, and also use Web3 system to reward users and protect users from anything that will affect their data. Currently, we are on a mission to get people to enjoy streaming music online. Many people do not like streaming their music, and we are trying to see how we can get them to enjoy it more. Well, currently, there are a lot of people that are trying their best to see that they get something from the internet, so we want to give it to them. And our target audience is global users, streamers, and the cryptocurrency space as a whole. Well, currently we have about 80% of the world's population currently streaming music, and we plan to use that as an opportunity to introduce our applications to the masses. And currently we have competitors who are also trying to build what we are building currently. But what differentiates us from them is the fact that the application we are trying to build is going to be user-friendly, much better, and people will even get to use it even without understanding anything about music. Now, about our team, currently I'm the co-founder and CEO of the application. I'm also the chief consultant of Light Services. That's where the name Light came from. I'm the CEO also of Light Services, and together, my team, my agency, we are the one building this application. And that is my co-founder, Constance Etiusa, is my co-founder, and is also the head of tech. Is the one in charge of building the application, while I'm the one taking care of the write-ups and the utility part of it. So currently we are still under development of the application, and will be released soon to the public for testing, and we plan to launch it on Product Hunt. And once we do, we plan to raise a seed fund of 500,000 that will help us in marketing, employment, to also increase our team and partnership.
Amazing. Okay, that's incredible that you jumped in there, Tony. And with the mystery of Light, Tony has been solved. So that's I like that. Let me pull up our judges here.
Okay.
Remove your deck if I can figure out how to do that. Where is it? Oh, it's me. It's my computer. That's why. There we go. And I apologize. I realized how almost like a bit of way through. I was the one supposed to advance the slides. So I think we figured that out. We're a good team, Tony.
No problem.
Why don't we start with Shane? Shane, do you have any questions for Tony? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, the mute button disappeared there for a second. That was odd. Yeah, so is there a limit to the amounts of rewards users can earn on Puga, or how do you structure the rewards portion?
Well, we categorizing it according to the music you stream, according to the music you listen to. So for each music you play online, our application is able to detect it, whatever application you're using to play the music. As long as you connect our application to it, it detects it and reward you according to each of the music.
And you can you earn rewards for listening to music even if you're not staking tokens, or how would that work?
You don't need to stake any token. You don't need NFT. You just need to download the app, register, and connect it to any application you're using to stream your music, like Spotify or Apple Music, and you're good to go.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And right now you're just on those two platforms, Spotify, Apple Music?
Not just the platforms I'm calling right now are the most popular platforms. That's why I'm using it. But there are other platforms we are also integrated into. like Boomplay, YouTube Music, and
Nice.
other applications too can be used for Pugatunes.
Cool. Interesting. Is there any other platforms out there like this?
Well, many of them, most of our competitors require you to do something before you can in. We have like Audios that currently what we use as tool for streaming, but you have to in it from the amount of time you spend to buy music and also to stake your tokens. The amount of points you get, that is the token you earn from it. You need to have points to earn. But from Pugatunes, you don't need to earn points, but you get rewarded in a token exactly without getting to stake tokens or to buy an NFT in the NFT marketplace.
Awesome.
Cool.
Will, do you have any questions for Tony?
Did we lose Tony?
Oh,
Tony is still there.
oh, did he? Oh, he might have fallen off. Hold on. Is he back?
Tony, you there?
There he is. He's back. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, my network is bad.
Okay, so
Sorry.
if I download Pugatunes and then I get going with Spotify, connected to my Spotify, and then I start getting paid for listening to music, where does that money come from?
We have our official token that we're going to launch after we start testnet. We have an official token that will be integrated to the app, and it will be traded on exchange. So once you start listening to music or start playing music locally, you earn the token and you can withdraw it to your wallet. And from your wallet, you can swap it or sell it on an exchange that we are listed.
And what is the value underlying the token?
Or it all depends on the markets. Once we do our public sale and private sale, list on exchange, then we get to know where the price of the token will be. Currently, the token doesn't have any value because it's not traded yet. So once it starts trading on the exchange, then we'll have to see what the value is.
So imagine if you're paying out millions in tokens and people are converting those tokens into cash, then there has to be a steady stream of people buying the tokens to keep the price up, right? So like what would keep people buying into the tokens? Or would you be selling people's attention?
Yeah. For our token is designed to have tax. And also we plan to build a lot of utilities behind our tokens that we drive users in. Apart from the application that we're currently working on, we also have 2 other utilities that we plan to work on that we bring in funds to the team. So from these funds, we get to buy back tokens and bond them, and also get incentive to drive users in to buy the tokens. And also we have a utility-based staking, so people can stake their tokens to earn more of it. And from there, we can add liquidity to the pool for users to swap their tokens with.
Great, thank you.
Brian, do you have any questions for Tony?
Yeah, just a quick one. How many users do you have right now?
Currently, we have about 57 beta testers, private testers, who are currently helping us. They've really done a good job. They're currently helping us with checking a bug fix and also the UI designs to help us to see how the application is working currently. So we are making changes as we ask them to test. And once they test, they give us feedback. And from their feedback, we're working on the application. And we hope to be done very soon with the application and push it to testnet for the public to test it. We plan to do it on a product hunt, so users can get to see what the application is about before we go to mainnet.
All right, and one last question: how have you invested in this so far?
Well, currently I've invested $7,000.
Okay, and the actual MVP isn't completed yet, correct?
No, it's not.
All right.
But we have the prototype live. The prototype is live.
Okay.
But the actual design, the complete design that the private testers are currently using to test the application is not available to the public or anyone yet. So it will be available in a week or 2 weeks from now. And once it is ready, then we'll push it to a product hunt for people to test it.
Okay, I got a bunch of legal questions, but for the sake of time, I'm going to assume that your employment next is a lawyer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well, our agency that is currently building the application, my agency is currently legally registered in my country. We are a legally registered tech and design agency. We have an agency that is 2 years now. So we build products for startups in the crypto space. We help companies to build their websites, design their brands, and help them with the start of their project.
Great. Well, good luck to you. I'm glad you're tackling the space.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony. All right, I'm going to remove Tony, and kudos to Tony for jumping in there. He was like tweeting at us like, "Hey man, let me on. I want to jump on."
Hungry.
All we see is lighttony.eth.
I love that hustle. That's awesome.
Yeah, and he sent his deck, and he did it from his phone. And we had a pitch person that did their pitch from an airport last time, right? Was that Maxine? Was that the last?
Yeah.
She was like, "No, I just got off a plane. Let's go."
Nice. I love it.
I love the spirit. Okay, I'm going to ask Noah in the private chat. He's put up a form. I'm assuming, let's take a look at it. I haven't looked at it yet, but I think everybody's on there. We got Anthony on there, which is Tony. So what, judges, I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to vote for 2 of the 5 that are on that form, and then we'll do some math, which hopefully works out the way we think it will.
What's our voting criteria, Michael?
Well, I think it's a comprehensive score, quality of pitch and opportunity, I would say. So pick your favorite one. I think we rated out of 72. Is that that makes it unique anyway.
All right. Vote submitted.
Terrific. I will. I don't know. Do we need like?
It just comes down to who we want to have a second conversation with, right?
You're
Exactly.
hilarious.
Pick your favorite. Pick who you think did a great job and has the most potential. Who you think are to see at the end here.
I love the Jeopardy music.
It sounds straight. All right. Noah, I'm going to bring Noah on if you want to that on the video. Noah, oh, you are. Do you want to announce Noah? Let's see.
Yeah.
Let me pull the music off back here. I'll just.
Music stuck now forever.
All right. Noah, who did such a great job organizing all this. First of all, thank you, Noah, for putting in so much work, for pulling in 3 great judges and 6 startups, it turned out. We managed to pull out a 5th one, even though one fell off in the airport. Noah, do you have a calculation of who the top 2 are that we're going to hear from?
Yes. So the top 2 are going to be Sven from Intribe and Zach from Filter Off.
Awesome. I'm going to bring both these gentlemen up. First of all, congratulations to all the startup companies. You did a great job, and kudos to Tony for doing such a crazy job jumping on last minute. Hopefully I didn't totally ruin it with the slide advance. What I'm going to do is, why don't we start with, I don't know, who do you want to start with, Noah? Who should answer questions
Start with Zach, maybe, because Sven went
Okay.
first.
All right, so I'm going to pull us, make a little more real estate, and I'll bring Noah back in a second. Why don't we start with Shane? Do you have any additional questions for Zach?
Yeah, I'm pretty fascinated actually by what you're building. I think like for someone to tackle like building something like it's kind of like a mix between a social media and a marketplace. Takes a lot of courage, and I'm impressed by the traction. I don't really have any other questions because I've known about your company for a bit and have been kind of following your journey, but just wanted to give you that kudos. I'm pretty impressed with what you're building. So congrats.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I didn't know Zach had a reputation already. Geez, that's great. Will, do you have any questions for Zach?
Yeah, so you said you're at 30,000 MAU right now, and you guys have raised already 2.4, I think you said, and so how's that going, and what do the economics look like, and what does that look for the next round?
Yeah, you broke up a little bit. I don't know if it was my end or your end, but what I heard, tell me, is how are your current situation? How do you plan to use current funding? Is that your question?
Yeah, like what's going on with your unit economics right now, where you're at 30,000 MAU?
Yeah.
What's it going to take? Like, how can you get to 1 million users, or your next, like 100,000 MAU or 500,000 MAU?
Yeah. So it's a great question. The last year and a half has really been developing our playbook. I don't want to go into total specifics because I know this will be shared, but offline, happy to like go into more detail in terms of our proprietary way of lowering our CAC. I mean, essentially, we've lowered our CAC by 90% over the last year and a half. So it's been just a different methods to do so. But having a hyper focus on retention. The last thing we want to do is acquire users and then they leave. So that's like what we're always looking at. So it's really now we've refined this playbook over the last year and a half. So it's continuing our marketing efforts to increase our MAUs and weekly active users, and pretty confident. I mean, the last month has been incredible for us in terms of growth. And now we just rolled out paid. And in literally 2 weeks, we have 200 trials. And we added our paid in our settings screen. We didn't even put it on the front of our app just to roll it out slowly. Does that answer your question? Again, happy to go into specifics like offline.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're at product market fit right now? Does that feel strong, or are you in growth mode now, or is it more product focused right now?
Yeah. So great question. We've actually trimmed a lot of our fat. We used to run virtual speed dating events during the pandemic. We actually retired those, and we went all in on our other featured daily picks by just looking at the data. From a product market fit perspective, we're in a really good spot just from retention. Like when we first started a year and a half ago versus now, we've come a long way. So really now it's about just acquisition as quickly as possible and just seeing where paid goes and finding those markets where people are paying, and then like going really hard on those markets with the goal of like being profitable.
Yeah. Are you doing like a lifetime thing like Bumble does for $200, or what's the paid thing that you're doing right now?
Yeah, good question. And it sounds like you're pretty familiar. So for us, we have 2 subscriptions. One is month to month, which is $20 a month. One is a 3-month, which is $15 a month. And then we also have a la carte purchases, which is pretty typical. But in terms of lifetime, I want to understand like our LTV first before I could roll out that option. But as you may or may not know, like 12 months is typical for Bumble. Acquisition for paid is 3 to 8% for most dating apps. Bumble is 3%, Tinder is 8%. So that's kind of how I've been projecting everything out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I just downloaded it, so I'm excited to play with it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
for sure.
There we go. Brian, do you have any final question for Zach?
Yeah, I've met my girlfriend online. We've been together now almost 3 years. But isn't the goal to lose customers? I mean, you would hope that they eventually, get together and bye-bye, delete the app. So I'm not going to ask the question. I'm just making a point. I think the sales cycle needs to be defined a little bit more. But I'm going to come for you. I'm going to come for you and your team because founder fit is really important to me, and founder market fit. Is this your first company? What is your history in this space, and how did you pick your team? Have you worked with them before?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, we actually see churn when it comes to relationships is great, because then they're literally your evangelists. When someone asks, hey, how did you meet your significant other? They say filter off. I mean, just looking at Bumble, Tinder, I mean, these have become huge companies, billion-dollar businesses. So it's not like you're looking at the past and showing that like successful apps do poorly, do quite well. To answer that question. In terms of team, this is the first company I've started that let me quit my day job. I've run online communities that grew them to over 25,000 people in the mental health space. I used to run a dating blog where I reviewed different dating apps and hacks for millennials. I sold that blog. I started Hinge's subreddit. So I've been really involved with the online dating space and community space. In terms of my co-founder, Brian, I actually worked for him in Syracuse. He was running a web development agency. So he was my boss about 12 years ago. And we would always talk about video dating. It was something we were fascinated with. But like WebRTC wasn't developed yet. Like people, it just wasn't the right time. And we just became really close friends. Brian then spun out that agency into Density, which was a Series D led by Kleiner Perkins. So a very successful company. He left that company to join Filter Off. So it's great been working with him. The other 3 employees, they're incredible. Michael, software engineer, he came from Fubo TV. James, who runs our events, he came from Secret NYC, Fever Up. And then Joe, he did marketing for the Giants, the Bucks. So a lot of like sports events, and then also a lot of mobile experience as well.
Thank you.
Terrific. All right, Zach, I'm going to remove you and we'll bring Sven back up. Great questions, judges. I really appreciate the effort you put into those and the thought. Sven, welcome back. I don't know who to start with. Did we start with Shane last time? Do you want to go, Brian?
Yeah, but I didn't have a question. So if you want, I can.
Okay, that's fine. Why don't we start with Shane then?
So how do you guys? How does Intribe differentiate itself from, I guess, other partnership platforms in the market?
So, I mean, primarily we're not an affiliate platform. So if you look at most partnership platforms that are out there, they have a background in the affiliate space, and they're generally rebranding to get rid of the baggage of the whole affiliate network concept from the early 2000s.
Okay.
That is the primary differentiator. So there are some niche people coming along and solving similar problems, but in very different ways. But most of them, still don't have a lot of traction. So there are definitely other people that have seen the problem and the solution. But if you search for partnership marketing platform, what comes up there? Companies with a long track record in affiliate marketing.
Okay, so those companies are an affiliate model. What is your primary business model?
We're a SaaS subscription.
SaaS, you're a SaaS
So,
product.
yep, SaaS product, subscription with add-ons. So the add-ons, some of them are like Upwork. If you've used Upwork along the way, where you can promote certain campaigns or resumes or jobs, and then obviously the whole scaling up in the feature set is additional subscription revenue.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Why don't we go to Brian? Do you have any questions for Sven?
Yeah, I know you talked a little bit about this before, but I kind of want to hear it from a different perspective. You talked about getting customer buy-in a little bit, but could you kind of walk me through how you're introducing to this market, you're introducing this product to the market, and then educating them to be long-term customers?
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, what does it cost you to get that customer acquisition if you broke it down that far?
So right now, let's start. So there's 3 parts to the question, right? So the first part of the question, the go-to-market is primarily through partnerships, and partnerships in 2 main. There are 2 main avenues. So the first is a lot of small partnership campaigns, webinars, co-hosted webinars, co-hosted content creation, etc. So at the moment, that cost is all just manpower cost because we haven't gone through anything else. The second part of it is we're actually going to run a whole lot of global partnership campaigns. So, and I don't want to give away too much secret sauce. I'm definitely happy to go into detail outside of this. But what we are doing by creating or partnering with 30 other brands for our launch, and when we're talking about our major launch, we've got 30 brands that have bought in. Some are, for example, giving away, or one is giving away 6 months of free accommodation as the anchor partner. And around that, we are building, a whole valuable prize pool and a competition that's inherently viral. And again, the would give away the secret sauce, but if you think about it, 30 brands with a social reach beyond 10 million, an email list reach so far, we're stacking up to about 250,000 on emails, basically leveraging, everything that there is in partnerships. And instead of telling, the whole go-to-market or the base of the go-to-market is show, don't tell. So we've got all the basic stuff for SEO, like how to run a partnership campaign. We've got all the different blogs that are already driving traffic organically. But the whole point is to come out of the gate with one big campaign that demonstrates it. And it's not just about driving traffic and growth for Intribe. It'll finish up with a case study that breaks down what every individual partner got, how much they had to put into it, et cetera, et cetera. So based around the concept from Queensland Tourism, so an Australian government tourism agency back in around 2009, 2010, did this thing called the best job in the world. I don't know if everybody's, can remember it, but they appeared on Oprah. They appeared on BBC, did a documentary around it. So we've basically taken that concept, turned it into a partnership campaign, and that's going to be our launch campaign. So on top of that, then we're going to roll through that and do a major campaign every quarter, and then literally as we grow, one every month. So that'll be the core of the growth wheel that will be putting partnerships front and center around the world. We've got the first 2 campaigns mapped out. Between now and the end of 2024, once we do close the pre-seed round, we will lean into advertising, basically to pour fuel on the fire. But primarily the ads will be to test a whole stack of concepts, but then to drive these partnership campaigns. So cost at this stage, obviously we're still in very much in pre-seed mode and testing. But if you think about it, the costs are primarily, it's a highly leveraged model where we're leaning into the partnerships. We've got committed, partnerships. We've actually got, our first bank that's going to come on board. They're a neobank that's leaning into this campaign, and they're all coming together to bring all of their tools. So, upfront cost, cash cost, whatever is zero. It's at the moment, it's all time and managing the campaign.
Terrific. All right. Sorry, what happened? Did I miss something?
No, I was just saying you should have led with that last sentence.
Oh, there you go. All right.
All right. Let me take a note of that. What was my last sentence?
Well, it's recorded, so we can come back and look at it.
Fantastic.
All right, Will, you get the final say of the days here. Do you have any question for Sven?
Yeah, so if I'm a marketing manager at a small company and I sign up for Intribe, my main concern is, okay, it's going to show me who I can do a partnership marketing campaign with, but then how am I going to know how to actually execute it? And are you guys going to have to create like an Intribe University class or something that I can actually attend every week for 6 weeks to actually learn how to execute this partnership marketing campaign? That's kind of what seems to me to be the friction here. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that and how you tackle that.
So I'm going to start with the back half of the question first. If you go back to my comments about the AI and what we're doing with AI, the end goal, the initial was the recommendation engine, then the recommendation engine of, brand A meet brand B. And by the way, this is the type of partnership campaign that works for your companies. The third part of that is push a button and it actually builds the campaign. So we're talking about, and I don't want to jump on the GPT bandwagon too much, but, generate emails for the campaign. Let's say it's just a simple webinar. So it's a webinar, these are the sides, this is the goal, here's your work back schedule, here is your, here's your work back schedule, here's your invitation emails, here's your social media posts, these ones need to go out, 3 weeks beforehand, 2 weeks beforehand, the follow-up, et cetera, and ultimately, as the platform matures, all of that will be automated. So we'll plug into the email systems. Socialbee, one of our partners, a big European social media platform, is already doing, auto-generated social media posts. So, we can actually just integrate with these and the whole campaign goes on autopilot. So that's where we're going. Today, in the beginning, there is a lot of education. So we have a newsletter. We do the newsletter and we pick one partnership conversation at a time. And right now I'm doing a ton of stuff that doesn't scale. So, obviously when I see people that are on the platform, not everybody is fully engaged. Some come in there, they build a list of favorites, they're connecting, there's outreach. And then, if it's an unusual category or it's a category that I'm already leaning into, I'm finding people off the platform and bringing them on, or I'm leveraging other partners, or I'm reminding people that it doesn't always need to be like with like. If anybody can remember the Shake Shack and what was that? Allbirds, the shoewear company. So before Allbirds became, a Wall Street darling and all the traders wore them, they were the first eco-conscious sneaker. They partnered with a burger chain, and that clashes, right? You've got eco-consciousness, left-leaning brand, and then you've got the symbol of American consumerism in, a burger chain, effectively, even if it's an upmarket one. They did it one store. Allbirds created 50 pairs of shoes with the logo on the shoes, and they basically shut down city blocks because of it. So, we're going out there, we are doing, again, stuff that doesn't scale, but the whole end play is automating that so people don't need to think about it.
Terrific. All right, guys, I'm going to remove Sven. Thank you very much. Noah, let's see if I do the right thing here. I do the right thing. And I think Noah posted, yeah, he did. So Noah's posted up in the private chat your final voting. So if you guys want to place your final vote for who you think is the winner of it all.
Voted.
All good. Let's take a look here. It's making me sign into Google. Why? Noah, did you depart? Let me just see if he's on, because I can't see what he thinks I can see. What the? What? Yeah, some reason I'm not seeing the tally. Noah, I'll let you come back in. Can you see the tally still?
Yep.
I'm going to let you announce it then.
Okay. First of all, we just want to say thank you to everyone and all the pitch companies for joining us. Thank you to all the judges as well. It was a great event. But now for the final announcement, the winner of this pitch event is Zach Schleien from Filter Off.
There he is. Zach, congratulations. Great pitch.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So what we'll do is we will make sure at the end of this, I'm going to bring everybody up in one sec. We're going to send out introductions with everybody's, if you include your pitch decks, if you haven't already, to Noah. We'll send out an email to the judges so they have access to your pitch decks and they can schedule direct time with you. So we'll include everybody's contacts on this. Congrats, Zach. I'm excited that I got to see you at our first Founders Pack dinner in New York. I'm actually back there the next few days, so if you're around, we can connect. I think you're in a WeWork there, right?
Yeah, I've been a WeWork in Williamsburg.
Amazing. All right, well, we'll be around, so maybe we can connect while I'm there. Otherwise, we'll connect you with all the judges. I'm just going to bring everyone back up for one final wrap here. Thank you again to our judges for doing such an awesome job and all of the pitch companies. We got Paula. I think that's everyone. And again, kudos to Tony, who I've added back on here, for jumping in last minute and flagging us on Twitter. That took a lot of guts, and I think he did a great job. Thank you so much to all the pitch companies for all your hard work, and we look forward to following everyone on your journey.
Thanks very much for the opportunity. Really appreciate it. Great to meet everyone.
Yeah, this was awesome, you guys. Really, really, what a fun time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, congrats, Zach. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
I'm going to play some random music. Let's see what it comes up with. This one too mellow or what? I don't know. Let's try this one.
This could be dangerous.
That's pretty good. All right, guys. We look forward to talking to you guys soon. Check out, we have our live air meet with Jimmy Soni, the author of the book, The Founders, the definitive book on the PayPal Mafia. That's on the 21st. So if you guys want to join us for that, if someone's in Boston, we have our March 22nd dinner, and then we'll be announcing dinners in April in San Francisco, LA, and I think in June we are going to Miami.
Ooh,
We're going to do something in Nashville. So I think, there you go. So we'll figure it out. Thank you so much to everyone. We look forward to seeing you on a future event. We will.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Noah. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.
Good job.
Have a great day.